Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the Film Busters podcast. The film show with no filters, no prisoners taken, loads of disagreements, but one hell of a love for cinema.
If you want to hear three friends ridiculing each other for an hour or so regarding their taste in films, then you have come to the right place.
In each episode, one of the team picks a film for us to discuss. It could be anything from a recent cinema release to an all-time classic.
So, strap in and get ready to get mad or get vindicated as we guide you through the murky world of being a film geek.
If you like what you hear, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram using @FilmbustersPod. You can also find each of our individual accounts. I'm at Filmbusters Paul.
I'm at Filmbusters Adam.
And I'm at Filmbusters Ben.
If you want to use your eyes instead of your ears, you can also visit the website at filmbusters.pod.co.uk.
And if busting makes you feel good, you can also support us at patreon.com/filmbusters for exclusive content.
Alright, can we just get on with this now, please?
Filmbusters.
Happy 2024, everyone. It feels like it's been ages since we recorded.
Well, it has. It's
only been 2 weeks, right?
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Okay, it has been quite a while.
Yeah.
It's lovely to be back. It's nice to hear your voice again, my boys.
It is nice to be back.
We've got a lovely year ahead of us of many wonderful things. I can't wait for it.
I can wait.
But this is always a fun episode doing it. It feels like the non-uniform day of the Filmbusters podcast.
That's true. Which is every day for Adam.
I would feel like we normally on camera and all this kind of stuff. For this, it's not. It's just first back, get yourself warmed up a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty chilled, isn't it?
You probably remember how nothing works, but just hope we will remember to press record. I think that's the only thing.
That's the only thing you've got to remember, Adam.
It is the only thing. I've done it. I can see it's recording right now.
Oh, good. You've done your job for the day. Well done.
Did you have a nice Christmas, nice New Year's?
Very wonderful, thank you. Very good. Very, very chilled. Very nice. Very a small one, but a lovely one. Yeah, it was great.
And your Christmas?
As I said, that was that.
I was trying to make a joke because you said a small one, but a lovely one. And I was trying to make a joke, but it didn't quite work.
I didn't want to give in to it, Ben.
Confound you.
How was yours?
Mine was a big one and it was great.
What about your Christmas?
Yeah, that was my Christmas. Let's see if we can do the joke for a third time with Adam. How was your Christmas? No, you don't say how was your Christmas because then you... How was it, Adam?
It was good. It was very busy. I was here, there and everywhere, but nice to be back and resting again now.
Oh, you didn't do a Willy joke.
I'll see if you can try and make one out of that one.
Really can't. A busy one. It's like, maybe.
Faffing around everywhere.
Round the block and all that.
Anyway, 2024 is a year for growing up, my boys, not for doing these childish pranks.
It is, of course. It is pranks. We're doing pranks.
And have you got any decent resolutions?
I just said I want to be happier than I am this time next year. Whatever that means, progress of happiness in life. Grow as a person.
Lovely.
Peace around the world and all that shit. I would like to maybe learn how to play piano. That's my resolution.
Oh, that's interesting. Have you got a piano or a little keyboard?
There's one turned up at work that I'm just going to nick. Basically, it's been sitting in our office for ages. I'm just going to be like, well, it's mine now.
Is it a keyboard?
A keyboard.
It's a keyboard, yeah. So it'll be learning keyboard rather than piano, but it's a step in the right direction.
Same thing. What's the bloody difference?
Yeah, exactly.
They make the same tunes. The keyboard's better, in my opinion.
There's just no pedals, right?
Exactly. I don't know what the pedals are for. That's people thought that they were making a car when they made the first piano. Fucking pedals on it. They thought accelerator, gas, brake, clutch.
Stall the piano.
Yeah.
What about you, Ben?
I got a couple of personal ones, which I won't share. But one of my exciting ones is that I'm trying to do for all of the films. By the time I get to the end of 2024, 75% of the films that I've watched has to have been not in the English language. Foreign films, not in the English language. So Australian doesn't count. Irish doesn't count. Any foreign film that is not in the English language. And that means for every English language film that I watch, I have to watch 3 foreign films. And the whole idea is to change my lens. I watch foreign film anyway, but I just want to watch a hell of a lot more and see different perspectives because I've had it
Wicked.
with these Hollywood fucks.
Well, I'm going to help you in the right direction because I'm going to try and pick foreign films all year.
I'm about to say, if
Well,
we
that is probably what I'll
if
be
we
doing.
picked an English film for the podcast, an English language film, sorry, for the podcast, would you then not count that within your films, or is it only the films
No,
you're
it counts.
watching?
It all counts. It all counts, baby. It all counts.
I don't know if it was only the films that you're picking personally.
No, it all.
So we could just dictate
counts.
your whole career, like your whole year, but just keep making you
Your
pick.
career.
My whole career, yeah. If you keep picking English language, yeah, it would. But I'm just going to have loads of foreign in the bank. I asked our lovely patrons for recommendations, and they gave me a bunch, so I'll be working on some of those.
Have you messaged them individually to ask them?
No, I just put it on the Patreon platform.
You wouldn't know, Adam.
I don't
you wouldn't
know.
You wouldn't understand, my son.
Speaking of the patron, might as well say this up front. We got a patron at www.patreon.com/filmbusters so we can get exclusive content. You could basically tell Ben what foreign films he should watch for the rest of the year. You could get exclusive episodes. You can come on the show. It's all very lovely over there. Adam,
Yes.
do you remember what we're doing on the Patreon?
We are talking about our Letterboxd stats. Is that what we do on the Patreon?
Yeah.
So we go through our most top watched actor and all of that kind of stuff.
It's all pretty exciting. I love
It's
going
not
through our
exciting for me,
stats.
I'll tell you that now.
How is it not exciting? It's like the only reason you would pay for Letterboxd.
Pays
Because
for it
you
as
do.
well. What an
I
idiot.
basically watched the Harry Potter series, and all of my actors are Harry Potter actors. Even to the point where
Well,
you
it's your own
scroll
fault
down
then,
to
isn't it?
see more, to see more, to see more. They're all Harry Potter for like the top 30.
Yes, well, I propose we do something about that, but we'll see when we get to Patreon.
Yeah. I know what you're going to say, but
We'll do our least
it's
watched
your own
actors.
fault, Adam. If you were so upset you shouldn't have watched Harry Potter.
True.
Just didn't care.
Anyway, if you want to get that, it's at www.patreon.com/filmbusters. Does everyone want to know what we're actually doing on this episode?
Yeah, go on, tell the people.
So this is our best of 2023 episode. We do this every year. It's a massive, long roundup of all the films we've watched in 2023. And we basically split it into three sections. We got our first time watches of 2023. This is the films we've watched that are not necessarily released in 2023, but we've just never seen. It's the first time we watched them in 2023. We've also got our honourable mentions, which encapsulates the 11 to 20 of our top 20 films of 2023, which actually got released in 2023. And then we do our top 10 of 2023. And then just to round off the end of 2023, we basically, as you know, do a quiz every episode, and the winner of the quiz, they get a special privilege to change 2 ratings of any films we've done in the history of the podcast. The second place gets to change 1 film, and then just every year anyway, we all get a chance to change 1 film. So the top person gets 3, the second person gets 2, and the last person gets 1 change. And we
Very
do that at
good.
the end of the episode. If you want to get involved in that, it's going to be at the end of the episode, basically.
This is basically the episode that, obviously all of our episodes are great throughout the year, but this is the episode that I'm always thinking of throughout the year, because I know, as you boys do, that everything you watch, every time you watch a film, there's a chance you could be talking about it on this end of year episode.
Exactly.
It's always exciting. Always exciting.
Will it hold up? Will that
To
film
know
hold up?
What will make it? Yeah, it's something that you watch like in the first week of January. Will it last? Will it last throughout the whole year? I think I have something from then as well.
The first thing I've watched in the first week of January is not going to hold up. And
No, apparently not.
I've watched 2 films and they're both 5 out of 10 straight off the back.
Oh, you boys have started off terribly.
terrible stuff. Have you watched the film yet this year?
No, not yet, my friends. Not yet.
And one of them was a
Well, make it
2023
a good
film
one.
and it was awful.
Well,
Well,
snap.
say no more.
Was it Maestro by any chance, Paul?
Shush, boy. I saw your review. Well, not your review. Your rating of that, and
Can
disappointing.
The biggest
Can I ask
Oscar bait I've ever
something?
seen in my life.
Can I ask something off record at this point?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
if Adam has just watched Maestro, obviously he's given it a low score, so it wouldn't make his list anyway. But if he watched it, even though he watched it in 2024, but because it's a 2023 film, would he be able to include it in his top 20
No.
of 2023?
It's like Paul when he
If-
picked films from the other month that we were in to put into his last month's fun. Remember that one?
I
Yeah, but
think
this
we
is
could
like a
be
definitive
flexible.
list. This is a definitive list, and you hadn't
True,
actually watched
true,
in
true,
2023. So.
yeah.
It's
All
like
right,
the end of month
okay.
wrap up finishes at the end of the month. You can maybe include films that we missed off the beginning, but
Listen, you chop and change the rules however you want. Should we get into the episode?
no.
Yeah,
Let's
on.
start with our first-time watches, our top 10 first-time watches of 2023. You ready to get into it?
Top 10 first time watches in 2023. Yes.
So the way we're going to do it is we're each going to go through our top 10 first-time watches each. And so I guess Filmbusters order, I'll go first.
Classic Film Busters. That will do.
Okay, baby, let's talk about it. The number 10. What is it? I haven't even got my list up yet. I've forgotten. So my number 10 of first-time watch in 2023 is one that Jamie forced me to watch, basically because he covered it on one of the Movie Duel podcast episodes, and this is The Quick and the Dead, and it's an 8 out of 10. So it's Sam Raimi. It's very Sam Raimi. It's very comic booky. It's very over the top. It's very fun, and it's got a stacked cast. It's a wonderful little film, and it's literally a duel. It's in the name. It's exactly what Movie Duel does. It's a duel between people. It's a dueling competition, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's on my list for so long. I'm so glad I actually got to watching it. Thank you, Jamie, for forcing my hand.
And
Have you guys watched it?
No. Leonardo DiCaprio, Michelle Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Gene
Michelle Pfeiffer, the lead.
Hackman.
Gene Hackman, he's the baddie. Yeah.
I only know of it because I think it was a British screenwriter, and many years ago I was reading a screenwriting book, and there was a big section on his process when he was writing it, and how it was changed along the way and stuff when it got passed along through different hands and stuff like that. I don't know. It's because it's young DiCaprio. That's why I think I stayed away from it, because I was like, he didn't really do good stuff when he was young. But that's bullshit, because he did.
He did do good
That
stuff.
was when he was young.
His
Gilbert
better
Grape,
stuff
mate.
was not when he was young.
That performance.
That Gilbert Grape. No, let's not talk about Gilbert Grape. No, I think the movie's good, but I'm not sure. That performance.
It's got a lot of problems with Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Is it a bit too much?
If you did that now, I don't think you get away with doing that now.
It wouldn't pass. It's true.
I don't think it should have passed then. Either, really.
But yeah, the reason it's so fun, this is basically like an over the top, like caricature version of a Western. So anything you'd expect to find a Western is right here, but just like a hyped up version of it.
Yeah.
So it's basically a good gateway into a Western if you're not into Westerns.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm impartial to the Western. I kind of like a Western, but I couldn't watch loads of Westerns because then I'd be like, this is all the same. So if it's different, then that's a plus. And Jamie recommended it for Movie Duel. That's a plus too.
It's worth it just for that reason. There we go. Lovely patron, Jamie. At number 9, it was a close to a 2023. I think this was released in December 2022, if I am correct. It's Avatar: The Way of Water. 8 out of 10.
Still haven't watched it.
I found it so boring.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm going to get like a 6
What
out
did you
of 10.
give it? No, okay. It
goes on
does
for
kind
so
of
long.
retread. It feels like a retreading of the first one, but I rewatched the first one again, and it's one of those things, you know, when you watch something so long ago, and at that time it was like, wow, this is mind blowing, right?
Yeah.
And then when you return to it, it's like, well, times moved on now. It doesn't seem as good as it was.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I still had a good time. I still had a great time with the first one. But then this is that moment again where it's like, wow, look at it now. This looks amazing. Like, can you believe that nothing is real in this film? Nothing's real apart from the one human that's in it, this little boy. Or there are a few more humans, I'm sure. But it's just the visuals are just flawless in it, man. It just looks amazing.
It's like a video game, though. It's like cutscenes from a video game. That's the problem. There's no personality behind any of it, I don't think. And I think that's where it lets you down, because it's all CGI. You struggle to get invested in these characters.
Yes, you do get invested.
I don't know.
Say you get
I feel
invested
like
in the
it's
story.
not like Pixar and stuff like that. They can make you in love with these CGI characters, but that's just. I think probably from the off, I just didn't. I was a bit like, I'll watch this. Yeah,
this is the thing. It is when it's the same as the first one. You watch it like, wow, that was great, and then it's like, now it's gone.
I didn't even get that. I was just like, when's this film gonna end?
Fair enough. That's fine. I can get that. I can get that as well. I can get it as well. I was just kind of taken away with the.
Are you going to continue to watch the rest of them?
And I felt exactly the same way. It's like, well, this doesn't need to continue. Why does this need to carry on? But there's going to be another 3 or another 2. I don't know if it's
I think there's like
another
5
3,
of them, isn't there?
Altogether, it will be 5, yeah. So, man,
I mean,
I'll be there for the next one. I enjoyed this one again, so I guess I'm going to carry on watching.
see, that is one of the ones where I know that I get why it would be on your top 10, but I will not watch it because it's just not going to be for me. Because when I rewatched that first Avatar, I was like, ugh, horrendous. And then obviously me and you were meant to be going to see the second one.
We were.
And we cried off because of poor weather, I think, or something. And everything that you just said is why I won't like it. Because you leaned into the visual spectacle of it, and it's like, fuck that.
That's all it really is.
I'm sure it is impressive to look at. Of course it is. It's James Cameron. But that was, as you say, that was the thing with the first Avatar. And it's why I came out of the first Avatar going, that's one of the best movies ever made. And like 15 minutes later, it's like, no, look, it's gone. Because it's like a McDonald's. You enjoy it, barely enjoy it while
But the
you're
first
having
one,
it.
I thought the first one was kind of groundbreaking in some ways. Like, it was, wow. Like, it was
Well, it
one of
may
the
have
first
been.
films that was like, it took it to another level. But once everyone else has got to that level, it's like, it's got nothing to stand on by itself.
It has no. Its thing about the earth and the environment. Its message on that is so unoriginal, and was in that. I'm talking about the first Avatar here.
Yeah,
it was so unoriginal and just like ripped off of like Fern Gully and shit like that, to the point where if that's all you've got at the heart of your story, I don't really care. And also, again, Hollywood with a white man, putting a white man in with everyone. It's like, it's Dances with Wolves, but you're all blue instead. I'm just, enough of that now. Enough of that.
It's true. It's you kind of got to try and forget about that bit.
Yeah. You got to try and forget about that casual racism they're slipping in there.
But it does have some ecological kind of message in this as well, because it's all like water. There's a lot of stuff about poaching and stuff like that, which is it's hard hitting when that stuff's actually happening in the film with these creatures that look like whales but are not actually whales. But I got something out of it, but it's one of those ones that I've just forgotten about now. It's
interesting to watch for about
it.
15-20 minutes, but beyond that, it's just like, nah.
Not even that. I enjoyed watching the whole thing, but then it's just...
It's like 3 hours long still, isn't it? It's like 2 hours 50 or something.
Jesus.
I appreciate it for what it's...
I think I put it on when I was working one day
it.
and had it on there, and that's, I think, how it should be watched.
I do not approve, but yes, fine.
That's why he did not even get anything out of it, because he wasn't actually watching
it.
I watched enough of it not
to like it.
Was Tobias in it?
Tobias? What? Oh, yeah. I got the link suddenly. Yeah.
If he was in it, then I would watch it.
Probably.
Well, look, it's James Cameron, so it's not going to be like poorly made, but I just, not for me.
I can understand why you wouldn't. Yeah. Alex from Contrarians loved it, mate.
I know. Alex from Contrarians likes lots of bad films.
It's true. We can't just leave it at that. You've got to say you like the good ones as well.
Oh, yeah. No, man, I respect him to the max, but yeah, he still likes a lot of bad films.
Very good. Okay, my number 8. This was a long time coming. A recommendation from you, Ben. A very heartbreaking one. And it's
I'm honoured.
Amor.
Oh,
dude.
Man.
Yeah.
What a watch. What a fucking hard watch. And just... It's
Henneck,
beautiful.
Michael Henneck.
Yeah, Michael Henneck. He loves a distressing story.
He does.
But yeah, man, it's kind of just like reality, man. Like this is life just playing out on the screen, and it's heartbreaking but beautiful at the same time. It's a hell of a watch. And I wouldn't want to go deeply into what actually happens in it, but if no one's actually seen it, because it's definitely one you want to go into kind of not knowing anything, I guess. I think you can kind of get the gist of what it is by just looking at the poster, maybe. But,
I mean...
Love, man. This is love.
It is love. I believe when we did Holy Motors, Alex from the Contrarians said that this is what beat Holy Motors in the best foreign language category at the Academy Awards. or maybe this was France's submission over Holy Motors. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, very hard hitting. Very good.
Very hard hitting, man. Very good. Yeah.
I love how there's so many different filmmakers. Like, if you say you're a filmmaker, if you say you're a director, or you work in films, it could mean anything. It could mean you make fucking Transformers type movies, or you could make movies like this. There is no one size fit all. If you work in the movies, you aren't just a certain way. It's everyone, artists of all types.
Fine art to expressionism, everything.
I know.
Whatever you want to do.
You know.
That's the beauty of film, man.
It is.
Have you watched it, Adam?
No, I haven't. It's one of those. It's on Mubi, isn't it, or something like that? And that's how you watch it.
I think I watched it during my little.
Every time
trial.
I get it, I'm like, oh. And then Mubi trials only like a week, and then I never actually get around to finding the time to watch it because it's a film you need a time to watch. You don't just put it on. In my opinion,
I highly recommend just subscribing to Mubi because there's so many good films on there. That's where I'm watching most of my films nowadays.
Especially if you're going
a lot
to
of great
foreign
language.
films.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's my number 8. That was an 8 out of 10.
Good.
Most of them, apart from 3, are an 8 out of 10. So the top 3 are 9 out of 10. So I'm not going to say it again from now on until my top 3 is a 9. My number 7. It's a true story, and it's 13 Lives by Ron Howard. And man, it just amazes me. This is
the cave, the Thai boys.
Yes, this is the rescuing. Yeah, the football team. Yeah, in the cave.
Is it the real one caves. Or the?
This is the Colin Farrell one.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I have seen this. Yeah,
with Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell, Joe Edgerton.
Yeah,
and not only is it just a heartwarming story of this is a true life amazing thing that happened, but it's just so you watch it and be like, nah. If it was any other film, you'd be like,
it's never
not a true story. You'd be like, nah, this never happened. This is so unbelievable. Then it's like, man, this actual thing happened.
Yeah.
They did this, and it's nuts what they did. You've read into the story, Ben. You know what happened.
I remember when it was actually happening. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the way they get them out. It's just like, fuck me, man.
Insanity, man. They fucking anaesthetized them and
they
had to keep
them
sleeping. Yeah, they had to keep them sleeping. They had a scuba mask on, and they zip tied all their hands and legs together, and they anaesthetized them and had to keep dosing them all the way through the whole journey, because if they woke up, they'd start panicking. So they had to it was fucking mental, man. This thing happened, and they got them all out. It's nuts.
The thing I remember when that came out, and the thing that I remember thinking at the time is, why was it coming out when there was already a Thai version of the story? I believe
the documentary on it,
at the same that's right. It was a documentary.
They're both from Disney. I think they're both Disney films.
This was fiction. Well, not fiction, but it's a cinematic retelling of the story. But I remember thinking, that's what didn't sit right is. Here come the Americans to tell the story. Fucking Americans.
That's what I thought going into it, but they have done a good story. They've
done a very.
I do really want to rewatch. I want to watch the documentary on it as well, just because it's a little bit more real. But this is a very good reenactment of what happened for probably people who might not watch the documentary and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You gave it an 8 as well, Adam.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, I will add that one to my watch list. I'm going to add that one along with, what's the documentary called? Anyone know?
13 Lives.
No, the documentary. I can't remember what it's called, but it will pop up on Disney if you search them both, I think.
The Rescue. It is called.
Oh yes, that's it. Yeah. I can't remember. I said what the film of this was called. The Rescue. Did I call it 13 Lives? Did I say that?
You did. Yes. Okay. But there is a good conversation here around that. Who should tell those stories? Because it came out a little bit with Killers of the Flower Moon, and if there is a story that is quite recent, as this Thai rescue was, should Americans be coming in and telling that story? Regardless of this and how this,
I don't know, but it's not really
Americans
like a cultural thing, is it? It's someone rescuing someone.
But in real life, did Americans?
It was Colin Farrell plays a British man.
They're English divers.
They're all British.
They're all British divers.
And is that what happened in
they were
England?
all like ex-Navy divers who go around the world rescuing people and doing this type of stuff. And they saw it happen, and without being asked, they all kind of flew out to help it, and they helped all the Thai army people without, and they told them what to do and how they had to do it, and then they led the rescue.
Well, fair enough. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that British were involved in the rescue like that.
Yeah, it's not like they're coming in and saying we did the rescue. It's actually all true to the story.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, that makes more sense. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, and to add to it, it's like so like I hate. I think I'm a little bit claustrophobic. I've never been in the situation where like I had to squeeze through a small space, like in a little cave, but I could feel it going through that. I feel like if I was in that situation, I'll be panicking so much because I could feel it.
I had to resist the temptation to make a crass joke there.
You want to do all the crass jokes today, don't you?
I'll let listeners fill in the blanks.
But yes, that was my, what was that, number 7? Yeah, my number 7 film. That's
I have seen some videos recently of like, I don't know if they're, what they're doing, spelunking or something like that, and they're squeezing through caves and stuff like that, and they've got their GoPros attached to them, and then they suddenly just get stuck and they can't go forward or backwards. Oh,
it's like, don't do it. Silly person.
I know, just why do you do it? Why do you do it?
Horrible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's on the watch list.
Yes. My number 6. It's this is another one that's been on the watch list for ages. So Robert Zemeckis' film Contact from 1997.
Oh, Contact.
Yeah, with Jodie Foster.
I've never seen it.
Man, it is just so good. It's so captivating. It's just a brief overview of what it is. Jodie Foster has this like fascination with reaching life forms outer space, trying to contact them. So she's constantly monitors satellites, sending out messages, see if anything ever returns. And then one day this message returns, but it's like garbled. So they have to try and work out and decode it. And it ends up being an image. They're sending an image, right? And they decode this image, and slowly it pixelates, and then suddenly it comes clearer and clearer. And it's a picture of Hitler doing a speech.
What?
Yes.
That sounds mental.
That is all I'm going to say, right? And the journey it goes on it's just a wonderful, captivating journey. It's just so interesting and really great. And also, if you probably have seen it, but it has got in it one of the most amazing shots ever.
I don't think I have seen it. I'm not aware of the detail of what happens.
If you can right now, type in YouTube saying mirror scene in Contact, bathroom mirror scene. And I want you to watch it just so you have an idea of the shot, and then tell me how you think they did it.
Yeah, okay, let's have a look here. Let me see what's happening. Okay, a little girl comes down the stairs.
I fucking opened it and now got an advert. I was watching it on the little. I was watching it on the little thumbnail when it was working, and then I opened it.
I'll get the medicine. She's running back upstairs. No, I won't commentate this because Adam. It was sport for Adam.
Relax.
Huh.
Her run is ridiculous.
Wow.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, very clever.
Very clever shot. Like ingenious. Like it's hard to even think about. Like, how did they even do that?
But I tell you what Adam just said there. Yeah, I mean that is impressive. That is impressive. But what Adam just said there falls into it. When he says her running's ridiculous, I think that's part of the trick, however it's been accomplished. Because if you look at her running, it looks like she's on a treadmill and not actually running.
It distracts you.
So I'll tell you how they did it.
Go on then.
It's basically, it's not a real mirror they're looking into. And I believe that it's a green screen mirror.
Right.
And you superimpose the shot of her reaching.
Right.
And then and it's basically like layering up two shots rather than it actually being.
Yes.
But it's very clever. Like to even like come up with that in your head, like this is how I'm going to do this little insignificant scene.
Even if they cut it as well, that's a very good cut as well. Like it's no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is good work. Well, is it worth watching beyond that? Yes.
But yeah, absolutely. So and something you'd love as well. The whole film pretty much talks about science and religion banging heads against each other to the point at the end where the side flips, where where Jodie Foster it's basically about, you just have to believe, right? That's religion, right? And the side is flipped where Jodie Foster's the one talking about science, saying, I just have to believe it's true because no one else will believe me.
Interesting.
And it's really interesting, like the dynamic at the end of the film. But I don't want to go too deep into the intricacies of it. But it's a very great film. 8 out of 10.
Excellent. Well, I will watch it.
Now on to my number 5. I know Ben's watched this, and I think it was a movie watch maybe. It's The Worst Person in the World.
Oh yeah, I did watch it this year.
That was
very good.
A very good watch, and I surprisingly it was so early on in the year. When did I watch this? In March. That mostly all I can really remember about is that wonderful scene of them at the party.
The drug trip.
And not the drug trip when they're saying let's do everything that's not counted as cheating.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, the drug trip. Yeah, I remember the drug. Yeah, I remember the drug trip now. Yes. That was very, very good. But the whole thing of them, how far can we push it where this isn't considered cheating and like smelling armpits and
yes,
and all this really interesting, like, oh, that's true, that's not cheating. But then it's also like, if I told someone about that, then it's also a bit strange.
Yeah, it becomes an intimacy thing, doesn't it? It's like the fact that they were having the conversation was already suggesting that it's, if not cheating, it was like you're being unfaithful, like your partner would not approve of that. So why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Why are you seeing what boundaries you can test?
Absolutely.
But it was fascinating little look. Yeah. See, that film, it was very good, but as you say, can't remember the whole as a cohesive thing. Yeah. I remember those sorts of moments. Study, right? Exactly.
Just for her.
Exactly.
So it's hard to remember the smaller details because it's not like a big plot. Yeah, she was very, very great.
Yeah. Were you giving that an 8?
This is an 8, yeah. It's an 8.
Yeah, very good. Danish film, was it?
Danish? Is it Danish?
Maybe. I think it's Scandi. I think it was Scandi.
Let's see what it says. Details. It says Denmark. Yeah, Denmark's top country.
Yeah, it's goody. Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
It's one of those films, again, I keep meaning to watch every time I have Mubi, but I just don't find the chance when you have your trial.
What do you mean every time you have Mubi? How do you keep getting free trials?
They keep giving, every time you go on it, they're like, oh, here's another free trial. I've had like three trials of them.
Never pay for it.
Ridiculous.
You cancel it and then they give it to you for like £1 for like 3 months, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I pay $5.99 a month for it. It's it's more worth it than any of the other streaming channels, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do always get some great watches on there whenever I get it.
Yeah.
It's definitely probably worth it. But yeah, all I could say is, in my review, it says carving out an incredibly complex look at expectation of womanhood and the drive to subvert it. And I can kind of, that's the kind of gist I got from it. The expectations from her, and
she didn't want to have a kid. Now you've said that I'm reminded now. She didn't want to have a child, and she was considered sort of a slight pariah, even by her partners, because of it.
Yeah. So it was a great watch, but clearly forgettable, considering that me and Ben can't remember much.
Well, no, not forgettable. It's
not forgettable,
but just like the story, the story overall. Away. Yeah. It was. You're right. It's a character study, and that's it. It's psyche.
Unless you're watching that multiple times, you need to get back into the groove of it if you want to. Keep it fresh in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my number 5. My number 4. We're getting close to the top 3 now, and this is the last 8 on the list, and it's a surprising one. And I know you've seen the stage play, the musical, Ben. It's Matilda. The retelling, the Roald Dahl's Matilda, the musical from 2022.
By what's his face?
And Matthew Warchus.
One with Stephen Graham in it.
Yeah, Stephen Graham, he's in it. And,
Tim Minchin.
Yeah, Tim Minchin, yeah, he wrote it, yeah. And it is... I said when I first watched it, man, if I watch this, it might even be a 9. Now that I had time pass, it's not going to be a 9. It won't be a 9. But the music, it still sticks with me. I can put the music on and it's got some bangers in it. And they're so clever. Like, incredibly clever ideas for songs. Like I said in one of our episodes, the wrap-up of the ABC song when she goes to school. I think it's called the school song.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole verse is the alphabet but said in like sentence form. But it's very, very clever and a lot of fun. And Woody loves it. Woody bloody loves it. So that's all that matters, really, doesn't it?
That's why you like it so much.
Yeah, probably. I'd rather listen to the music than probably watch the film. That's the thing.
The stage show is very, very good. And that exact song you were talking about, I think we spoke about this before. They had the child actors climbing up like school gates, and as they were saying each letter of the alphabet, a block would push through the gate. It was very impressive. It was a very immersive show. They had like the girls on the swings, and they were swinging over the audience from the stage. It was quite a spectacle. Took Jenny for her birthday about 10 years ago. You'll go to old Chokey.
The Chokey.
Do they go to Chokey?
Hell yeah. Yeah, of course they do. Emma Thompson's is Miss Trunchbull.
Oh, that's rubbish. They had a man playing her on stage. Although I suppose you can't do that now.
It's not a fucking pantomime, is it?
Well, it will. It is, in a way.
Well, it will.
I remember watching, over Christmas, we watched the last hour of the original Matilda. I haven't seen that film for years.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while as well. It's been a long time.
I think you had to be a child at the time to really like it. Danny DeVito directed it.
Is.
Yeah, and he's in it.
Yeah, oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
He's in it with Rhea Perlman, who's his wife in real life.
He plays he does like 10 roles in it. He's like the dad, he's the narrator.
Look at him. Look at Mr. DeVito.
Just wants to get on screen, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Directing it, starring in it. Multiple roles.
Tim Minchin.
Very selfish man.
I believe we've cancelled Tim Minchin now, though.
What has he done?
Or I have, anyway. A bunch of staff from one of his recent stage shows at the end of the curtain call came out wearing Palestinian flags, and he spoke out afterwards and said that he didn't think it was appropriate and they were living in lefty bubbles. And it's like, oh, okay, dickhead.
Oh,
fuck off,
what a
you
dickhead,
little prick.
Mate. Fucking idiot. Lefty bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
This film's a 4 out of 10 now. Let's move on. I did recommend that Julio should watch it, and guess what? He hasn't watched it yet. So,
why did you recommend that Julio would watch this?
Because he loves a musical.
Oh right, yeah, of course, yeah.
Anyway, Julio, I'm going to move on now because you don't want to hear it anymore, and they don't want to hear it anymore. My number 3. This is a 9 out of 10, and it went up from an 8 to a 9. And you've both seen it. Adam saw it in a very special preview screening, and it's The Menu. We spoke about it so much as well, I feel like.
Was that this year, was it?
Well, it was technically last year, wasn't it? But
the hell? So, how was that not coming to my top 10? I mean, it was very good. Yeah, it's very good. Very good.
Very, very good. And
this is a 9 for you, is it?
Very clever, yeah. It's a 9 for me, yeah. It was an 8 on my first watch. And there's just something about it because on that first watch, you're kind of trying to work out what's going on. I enjoyed it even more the second time because of the fact you know that Ralph Fiennes' character is just basically belittling all these people, but they don't even know it. And it's just wonderful for that. And I got a lot out of it. And it's very hard to speak about this film without actually ruining anything. Because if you haven't seen it, then you don't want to know anything.
The thing about it was how you can apply it to any sort of hobby or interest, not even hobby, things that people are passionate about in life.
When does it become toxic?
Yeah, who do the thing, but also critically engage with the thing, like us. It's like, we love film, great, but then part of what we do with this podcast and Letterboxd is criticise when something doesn't come up to scratch. So even though we love film, we critically engage with it because we want it to be as good as it can be. And that was what I took from it, was that all of these people in the restaurant are like these different facets of, for me, my reading, film criticism, but it could be criticism about art, music, food, whatever. I liked it, and like he was like the director who had gone mad. It was like, oh, you don't like my shit. It was good satire. It was very good satire.
Absolutely. Yeah. All the many forms of film criticism, like the big critics who just like love to like smash people down just because they have the power. The ones who just love people, like on Twitter, who just love people just because they are and don't even care about what it is before they've even experienced the thing. They're just loving it.
Absolutely, exactly. That guy Nicholas Hoult, he is absolutely the state of film Twitter most of the time.
Yeah.
Here comes the new Timothée Chalamet film. Haven't seen it, but I'm already making it my personality. Fuck off. And the minute I've seen it, the next day I never talk about it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is what I hate.
Absolutely. And there's a very big moment where something very big happens that kind of suddenly changes the dynamic, and Nicholas Holt's just like, oh wow, like I just want to see where this goes. He like doesn't even react to the thing. It's just, oh, it's all part of what's going on. So I'm into it because it's the director, it's the guy I love, not the director, the chef I love. But it's very good, very great stuff.
It was great stuff.
It is good. It's like the most blind film you should ever go in, because the trailer just gives so much away. Like, and people talking about it, I think, gives it away.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it until you went to a secret screening at the London Film Festival last year, right?
Yeah,
2022. I mean, 2 years ago.
And you're a little bit disappointed as well, weren't you, Adam?
No, I loved it. I thought it was great.
No. You were disappointed because you wanted it. I can't remember what you wanted it to be. You wanted it to be another film. Then it was me and Ben on the side, like, oh, he's watching the menu. That was it. Yeah.
That was a pipe dream. It was never gonna. They're not gonna put a 3-hour-long film up for the. It's always like an hour, and it's always like an hour 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have felt, because I knew nothing about the film at that point. So when it was like the menu, I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, what is that?
That's
not
the beauty of not watching. Don't watch trailers anymore, folks. Just be completely surprised all the time.
I don't. Unless it's something like massive that I just absolutely adore and I have to see it. I just don't watch it.
See, it's weird. I didn't do that for Halloween Ends. I consciously avoided even the trailers for it. So I was completely
That's
surprised.
what I did as well, actually.
But then I watched the Ghostbusters.
The first teaser.
I watched the teaser, and then the full trailer, the official trailer release, I didn't watch.
Yeah.
And just as well, I watched that Ghostbusters trailer for the second one though, but now I won't watch it again.
See, I went to the cinema the other day, and I didn't know it was for Ghostbusters. I was watching it. I was like, "Oh, this film looks interesting. It looks quite fun. This could be half decent." It looked a bit like a disaster movie film, but it's like, oh, it's kind of got like a feel about it where it seems all right. And then fucking Ghostbusters turned up. I was like, oh shit.
There you go.
It's very. I don't know what it's going to be like though. It seems like a very weird mix of old and new Ghostbusters.
I know, but
like the day after tomorrow.
But like, they're all four of them, like 4 different ages fighting together. I don't know if it's a bit late.
I don't think they will be fighting together. I think the old guys are still just going to be. It will be cameo appearances.
Yeah, but like Paul Rudd is now one of the Ghostbusters with one of the little kids from fucking Stranger Things.
I know. Well, they kind of set that up in the original. In Afterlife.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens.
My number 2 is a 9 again, and it is The Wicker Man. So, the original Wicker Man. Yes, not the Nicolas Cage one.
No, of course.
This is incredible.
Did you watch that because of movie Jewel?
I didn't. No, I watched this ages ago. I can't remember when I watched it now. I watched this in March, so I think that's before even we're aware of movie Jewel, right?
Yeah, probably.
March.
Yeah.
So, man, it's so effective. Just to see this guy unwillingly be part of a massive plot. Have you seen this, Adam?
No, actually, I think I have. I saw it.
I mean, it's hard not to know kind of what happens in it, but it's probably best not to delve too deep into the whole thing.
I watched it in.
Oh, you did watch it. Okay,
2017.
But it is just incredible. Just the laying out of this roadmap of this guy turning up on this island to where he ends up. It's just so well done, man, and it's just this blind religious belief going into this town, thinking that God's gonna smite some people, but no, man, that's not what's gonna happen. Something else is gonna happen. It's a fucking amazing film.
I like the film, but I think the ending is covers up how sort of slow and ponderous the rest of it is. I like
know,
it. I do like it, but the ending is the only thing that I ever really think of.
How long ago did you watch it again? I know we've spoken about
I
this before.
don't know, about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if you watched it again.
Yeah, I would watch it
a little
again.
bit older. Yeah.
But I think I was fucking 28 then, mate. I'm not a young man.
Oh God! Oh Jesus Christ!
I don't know. I do like it. I think the thing that I don't know. I need to rewatch it again, but I wonder. Maybe you can tell me if, from memory, I feel like the townspeople are pagan in many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone's watched it here. So, are they saying that paganism is an evil?
I think this is the thing. I think the message has changed. I think at the time maybe, but because like reality has shifted now. Where back then it probably was written to be like, oh, it's the 60s, the boom of love and drugs, and well, it's actually the 70s, but you know, the backlash of the 60s.
Yeah,
and it's like free love, drugs, and it's this people who just like turn their back on religion. They're just kind of doing what they want, and it's these children, and this is like the religious adults against the young like population, and that is like where the kind of idea of the film comes. But then I feel like now that message kind of switched, where now I'm almost on the side of the pagans, like this idiot just blindly believing in faith, walking into something doesn't understand.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I take it.
Yeah, I need to watch that again. I just don't like it if it's sort of like critical of paganism, but I guess it's not, because it is, of course, critical of. It's probably critical of religion overall.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say critical of religion.
A bit of
sure.
everything.
Yeah. See what you think of it. I'd like you to watch it.
People love it. It's one of them big ones that people love,
Yeah,
like The Exorcist and all stuff like that.
It's
It gets mentioned in the same breath as that.
Yeah, you go in with a judgment. That's the only thing. It's hard.
Yeah.
You feel like, okay, well, I have to. This has to be a high bar, so you kind of can only fall down.
I give it a 7, so I still think it's good.
Yeah, I gave it a 7. I didn't dislike it. I just don't remember enough on it now.
Well, I bloody loved it, mate.
That was your number 2. Yeah, let's hear number 1. What beats Wicker Man? I'm amazed that that's your number 2, man. Christ.
Yeah, 10 out of bloody 10. This one. And it was a late watch. I should have watched it last year, but never got around to it. And you give it a 9. Ben?
Me? Okay.
Yeah. It's Top Gun Maverick.
All right, a 10. Fucking hell.
I just watched it, man, and I was just like, man, this is just incredible. I was just like so on the edge of my seat, like, how is this so good? It was just insane how good it was. Like,
yeah, it is. I mean, we've spoken about it at length, but it is incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. What's most impressive of all is how it surpassed something that was so iconic for many people, not for us.
Yes,
but
exactly.
It surpassed how good people consider Top Gun was.
Yeah,
it was absolutely amazing. For me, the only reason that it doesn't get the 10 is from the moment that towards the end something happens involving Cruise's character that then involves Goose's son to do something, and it's that sort of stuff which is like, oh, now this doesn't feel like the same movie we were watching before. It feels like for about 15-20 minutes we've now slipped into another kind of movie which I don't enjoy as much.
Well, I know what bit you're talking about, but I was so wrapped up in the film at that point that I believed that anything could happen, and I didn't mind the direction it actually went. I was like, at that moment, I was like, no way they're going to do this. And obviously they didn't do the thing I thought they were going to do.
They were like, yeah,
but
absolutely.
I believed they were going to do it, and it had me. And that's what I appreciate about it.
And it is Star Wars.
Adam, you keep banging that fucking
mate.
drum,
It's
man.
Star Wars, bro.
That is your catchphrase about that film.
It is.
Maybe it is. It
Another
never
Star
occurred to me.
Wars kind of a plan, yes. this did it better than Star Wars.
Well, listen, I ain't mad about that. As your number one first-time watch of 2023,
Yes,
great, wonderful.
that's my number one, mate.
It was it was superb effort, and Tom Cruise is he's all right. He's all right.
He's banging that drum for just fucking doing the stunts, mate. Do it yourself. Make it look as real as possible.
Make it as real as possible. Well, there we go. That's Paul's first.
That's my top 10 first-time watches of 2023.
Good Lord, this is going to be a monster episode.
It sure is.
Almost an hour in.
Right, before we move on to Adam's top 10 first-time watches, we got some patrons who have also sent us their first-time watches and also top film of 2023. So first we're going to go to Julio, who sent us his favourite first-time watch of 2023. Let's see what it is.
All right, Filmbusters, I am back. This is Julio from the Contrarians again, this time here to tell you about my favorite first watch of 2023. And unlike my previous clip, where I only really had two that I was trying to pick from, this time I had a few movies in contention. I'm gonna run them by you really fast before I get you my actual pick. But Double Indemnity, first watch, loved it. Best noir I've seen so far. Thunder Road, which was assigned to me by our friend Jamie Russell. Great Jim Cummings movie. Inspired me to watch his other movies, and neither of those have lived up to what Thunder Road was or is. Burning, which I know you guys were not so hot on, but I loved it. It's one of those movies that just you keep coming back to it, thinking about the different interpretations of what happens. One Cut of the Dead, if you don't know what it's about, just go and watch it go back or blind. Paper Moon, thank you, Ben. That was thanks to you. I loved it. That was really close. I almost gave it to it, but then I kept going back on my Letterboxd and saw that earlier this year, very early in the year, I watched Leave No Trace, and that was a powerful 5 stars. Ben Foster, Thomasin McKenzie, I think that's her name. It's a movie from a few years ago, but they play this father and daughter that are trying to live away from civilization, and of course society won't just let that be, and even more so, like there's tension between them because the little girl starts yearning to be part of society, which is not what the dad wants. And it's a very quiet but very powerful and very heartbreaking story. I loved it. I could not believe that it took me this long to watch it, because I've known of its existence. It just didn't sound like something I wanted to watch, and then when I finally got to it, it was amazing. So if you haven't seen Leave No Trace, I absolutely recommend it. Go for it. And if you have, hit me up. Let me know if you loved it or hated it. Maybe it bored you. I don't know, but I loved it. So that's my favorite first watch of 2023.
Well, I've seen Leave No Trace, and what did I think of it? Let me see. I don't remember loving it.
It feels like the kind of film that I thought I had seen, but as you were speaking there, I just checked to see if I had, and I hadn't. But it feels like I thought I had seen it, but I haven't seen it.
I remember enjoying
I gave
it.
it a 7.
It was alright.
I liked it.
I don't remember much on it, but I remember enjoying it.
I think Jenny read the book when we were on holiday several years ago. I think it sounds very much like a book that she read, based on what Julio was saying there.
I think it's very much one of going into mental health and stuff like that of the dad, but I don't know. I just remember it not being anything exceptional.
Well, Julio would beg to differ with your ass.
He begs to differ, and many people probably do. It's a 3.8, so on Letterboxd.
Paper Moon, that won't be the last time we hear about it today. Double Indemnity, I know they just did a Patreon episode on there. Have you seen Double Indemnity?
No.
I watched that many years ago. It is fucking fantastic. It's a great noir. I haven't heard what they thought about it, but it is like a classic film noir of the Hollywood era. Studied that at uni. It was that's a very good film. Very good call.
Lovely.
Burning, you like Burning, Adam?
Yeah, Burning's lovely.
He was holding the flag for that one.
Yeah.
We did an episode on it, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, we did, innit? Yeah.
Me and Paul were very harsh, and then I believe on one of our end of year episodes, I decided to upgrade it from a 6 to a 7.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Because it did.
God knows why.
Well, I think
You can't remember shit. You
No,
remember
I-
the cat?
I remember the cat, or lack of.
The lack of cat.
Yes. I remember the mystery of it all. Yeah, I think it was an intriguing one. Anyway, thanks for that, Julio. Even though, bless you, you referred to a previous audio clip, which we are yet to hear in the episode because we actually played that audio clip first.
Yes, exactly. Silly, silly man.
Silly Julio, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
You thought we'd be professional.
Very good.
All
Okay,
right.
Adam, it's your turn.
Yes. So, I've got one at all 8s, and then the last one is a 9. Quite a few of them are the ones we've done podcasts on.
Okay.
So you probably know our thoughts on the films already, but I'm just going to go through them. At number 10, we have Help, the Beatles film.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Again,
I haven't seen it yet.
It's another very enjoyable film by the Beatles. All are just being, they're trying to, get away from an Eastern cult, as apparently is what they call obscure Eastern cult that practices human sacrifices, pursues Ringo after he unknowingly puts on a ceremonial ring. So they're chasing him basically around the world and stuff like that, and they're just getting into all types of mischief and singing songs in the meantime. But yeah.
So is it like I've forgotten the name of the Beatles one that. What's the other one?
What's the one called?
Hard Day's Night.
Yes.
Is it like that?
It's kind of got a similar feel, but this is a little bit more wacky and a little bit more here, there, and everywhere. Like, running around, doing all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's like loads of people. There's like a policeman. There's some scientists. There's like fans. Everyone's like chasing the Beatles, all for different reasons, and they all keep running into one to another, to another, to another.
That's exactly what happened in Hard Day's Night. They were just, it starts off with them just getting chased around everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they felt like their lives were.
Yes.
But and then they put the songs in it. It's good. It's very enjoyable. And again, I think it's just like it kind of sums them up really well. Like their cheeky personality, I think, almost comes across in this. And it's nice to see them not being like serious. I mean, I never did think they were that serious, but when you listen to them, you see the other side of them.
Is it better than Hard Day's Night?
I think so, yeah. I think I preferred it. I think it had a little bit more charisma in it.
Wow. Same director, I see.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Richard Lester. Yes, so it is. I gave them both an 8, but I think I prefer Help a little bit more.
He also directed Superman 2 and 3.
Oh, shit.
But not number 1.
Not number 1.
Moving on to my number 9. Number 9 is a film we did a podcast on, and so is number 8. So I might do these two together. They're both 8s. Number 9 is Saturday Night, Sunday Morning.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Very much enjoyed that film.
Love this.
If you want to hear our thoughts on that film, you can. But I thought it was a great little find. And number 8 is Deep Cover. Again, another podcast film. Again, a great watch with some mental scenes in it.
Deep Cover.
Did you
I
want your
respect
cake
Deep
and
Cover.
eat it too?
Yes.
I'm going to whistle log on because, yeah. We've covered those films. We've covered those films in enough detail. And number 7 is The Guard. So I don't know if you know of this one.
Is this the what's his name?
Brendan Gleeson. Yeah.
Gleeson,
And
yeah.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
I've had it on my watch
Is
list.
it that good?
I enjoyed it very much. It's by the guy. It's the brother of the guy who did In Bruges and all of that.
Oh, is it?
So it's the same. He
I
wrote.
always thought it was him.
No, so I think they worked together quite a bit, but no, it's
They
his
love
brother.
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, the Irish do. But yeah, it's like so that the FBI come over to sort out a drug trafficking ring, and Don Cheadle gets basically paired up with Brendan Gleeson, who is just like the small town Irish cop who like sleeps with prostitutes. A bit doesn't really give a shit. It's a bit like, I don't care about this. And Don Cheadle is a bit like, yeah, I'm a straight-laced FBI agent who. But yeah, it's very good. It's a lot. I just love Brendan Gleeson. I think if you like him, the film is a lot to do with.
You're already halfway.
Yeah,
He's a good one. He's a good guy.
He's a very good one.
He's in a lot of films. He is in a lot of films, but I think the first film I ever saw him in was 28 Days Later.
Yeah, same. and he's great in that.
I think the first time I really
lovely little daddy.
Probably my like remembering him was probably in the Harry Potter films though, and then from then it's like okay.
Mad Eye.
Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah.
Well, that's
very good.
That's,
I've added that to the list.
Yes, it's added. I think the Contrarians did an episode on it. I think for your reference,
Yeah, they did.
got them to watch it.
This is a film I've just gone onto it to look at, and I've just seen Paul's review of this film. And Paul only watched this film 2 days ago.
Oh, here we go.
Here's the film.
All right, let's have this conversation. But don't
Tell me
spoil
how
it
you
for
loved
me.
it,
Go
Adam.
ahead.
I just thought this film is called Ball, okay, and it's about a guy called Ball who comes out of prison, and he is basically just taken down the gang who put him in prison and double crossed him. And I just thought it was a very decent, open, like just a decent. It's only 90 minutes long, simple revenge film. I
Certainly
thought
not open close.
well, it's not, but like I thought it was just very good. Like it didn't fuck around. You're just going in, you're getting what you want from the film. You're enjoying it. There is some terrible acting in the film. I will say that from some of the outside cast, which is a little bit, and like some.
It's not the reason I didn't like it.
Why didn't you not like it then, Paul?
I totally agree with everything you're saying. Go on, carry on.
But yeah, it's just. Yeah, why don't you like it?
And you're not going to mention. You have no idea why I didn't like it.
Why?
Do you not remember what actually happens in the film?
Yeah.
Don't spoil. Careful here. Don't spoil. I'm so intrigued to watch it now.
This is why it's so hard to talk about.
Go on. Use codes so that Adam will get it.
Okay, so obviously there's a whole thing of the whole gang doesn't understand how he could be back taking everyone out, right?
Yeah.
And with the realization at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't like that plot summary, that plot point kind of thing.
I fucking hated it
Really?
so much that I was going, fuck this film.
So you were with this
right
film
now.
for like the majority of it?
I'll tell you, I was on a 7.
Okay.
And then it got to that,
Wow.
and I was even up to the point where I was like, oh, where could I'm interested to know how they're going to get out of this kind of plot point they've done, because it seemed pretty definitive, and then they fucking pull that one at the end. Fuck you, piece of shit film.
That's very passionate. I can't even begin to imagine what that is.
It's got a double header of me hating it because something happens and I'm like, oh, of course that would happen, and then it does another thing. It drops something. I'm like, you fucking stupid film.
Okay. All right.
You understand what I'm talking about?
I
right?
kind of get it. Yeah, and yeah. I mean,
You liked it though.
Yeah,
You liked that moment, Adam.
It's by the.
So let me, Adam. So let me just understand, like, in case you've just forgotten this thing happened. Right? You understand what I'm talking about? The thing that happens at the end.
Is it the very, very end of the film? Like the last.
The very end of the film. The realization at the end. Adam understands exactly what I'm talking about, and he still liked it. So I think
enjoyed it.
some people.
Also, you're the
and
only
it seems to work for
person
most people.
Watched Luke Human loves it. He gave it a 9 out of 10.
Everyone else, just what? Everyone else is stupid.
I could actually say this.
It
I wouldn't be
is
surprised.
so stupid.
I think the person who is going to agree with you would be Ben on this.
Well,
Do you know what? He probably won't now because I put it so low.
I'm going to watch it.
It's on Netflix.
I'm going to
It's
watch
90
it
minutes
because
long.
this has enticed me enough. The thing...
You're going to waste one of your 1 in 4 English films.
It's going to have to be, isn't it?
You're going to take them so seriously. You're going to, you can't just throw something on. You're going to have to watch every single...
Yeah, I know. But see now...
But the thing is, I'm very sorry, Ben, because now I've almost...
Also, you've only
put an
watched it 2 days
expectation on the
ago, so
film.
you're very passionate about it still as well, aren't you?
Oh, I will be passionate about this till the day I die, mate.
The thing is...
I need to rewatch this film almost now, just to,
I watched a film by this very same director earlier this year, and it was going to be in my top 10 first time watches of 2023, and it just dropped out at the end of the year. And the film was called London to Brighton, and I spoke about it on one of our end of month wrap ups before, and I really loved that, and I thought it was really, really good, really very well done, hard hitting as fuck, and the ending of that I thought was brilliant. So I'll be interested to see if he has dropped the ball or if it's more the same. And also, Paul, if you watch London to Brighton, if you would feel the same way about the ending of that. Although I don't think so.
I can tell you right now. You won't. Nothing's gonna.
Okay.
You won't be able to get what's gonna happen. So nothing is gonna get you ready for the.
I
ending.
need to rewatch this now. I really need to
Let me at
now
least.
You said it annoys you watching it. I was like, okay, I was just on board with it the whole film. I felt it just.
So was I. I was
it was
on board
kind
the
of
whole
going
film.
that way, not that way, but like it didn't feel that it was enough to piss me off.
Anyway, just know, Ben. Just so you know, everyone on my letterbox loves this film. So
Jamie loves it.
just so there's a
Luke
balance.
Human's on there loving it. Like,
I have one person on my letterbox who likes it less than you. They gave it 1 star, and they said, check this out. Their one-line review was, "Ha, that ending was a joke."
Thank you. Have you seen what my review is?
Paul's is just fuck off.
Well, there you go.
I was saying that. That was what I was saying when I was watching. I said, "Fuck off." I was saying it to my
To
television
drop
screen.
from a 7 to a 4. God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, say no more, and
Anyway,
I will
say
watch
no more.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What number was that for you, Adam?
That was, oh my god, I've lost my list now. That was number 6.
Okay. And you give that an 8, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 5 on my list is Martin Scorsese doing his personal journey through American movies.
Oh,
love this
yes.
stuff.
Again,
Very
Lovely.
beautiful.
they're just incredible. It's just watching this man just, annotate films.
Is that what it's called?
It's my personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies.
Okay.
It's
like a
just incredible.
4-hour documentary.
It's in 3 parts. I think it was when I watched it on Amazon or something like that.
Oh, was it?
I think that's how they did it. But yeah, it's just incredible. It's just beautiful to watch this man talk.
So good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just
Lovely
just
stuff.
watch it. You can't really talk about it. And it's just films, like half the films that you've never really heard of. He speaks so passionately about them. I don't think it's quite as good as his Italian journey, just because
No, the Italian one's better.
there's more in the Italian film, and I think there's more of him showing you what this is. Like, come and look at this film, whereas this one, I think he expects you to kind of know what they are a little bit more, the way he's talking about them. But anyway, I highly recommend that film.
Yeah. The Italian one also feels that little bit more personal, because it's almost like going to his roots and his his grandparents, great grandparents, and the stuff that they went through. He's wonderful to listen to.
He's
Wonderful to listen
Need
to.
to get that watched.
At number 4 is another podcast film. I don't think Paul's going to agree with this one either. It is La Grande Bouffe.
Wow!
No,
I was
I can
not
understand
expecting that.
So,
I was not expecting that.
Again, I very much enjoyed that film. Thought it was great, and it's kind of stuck with me since. I've spoken about it to a lot of people since as well.
Cool.
It's one of those films that kind of will remain with you. Maybe not for the right reasons in some ways, but yeah.
I gotta say, man, I'm not upset about that, because it's certainly stayed with me too. It's one of those ones where it's like it really sticks in memory. I don't enjoy watching it, but it's like I would say, yeah, man, watch that. Just watch it. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, fascinating film. Good discussion had on that very recently as well. That
Absolutely, yeah.
That is one you want to tell people about. It's true.
Yeah.
Number 3, I think this is definitely. I think it was on Paul's list last year. Ben, I don't think you've watched it, but it is All Quiet on the Western Front. And
Oh yes, yeah. It was not as high.
It's one of those war films that's like beyond the war film. It's not just look at us, we're at war. This is grueling, it's gritty, it's horrible, it's
The horrors of
dirty.
war.
It's like, and that ending, oh my, it's just, it's heartbreaking.
It's got the wonderful opening of the
it's just
army
I've never seen the
uniform.
original, and I kind of do want to see the original, but I can't, there's some part of it I can't see it standing up to this one because I've seen this first. So I kind of wish I'd watched the original first and then watched this one. But it's kind of not like 1917 in that First World War way, but like it's like I think it reminds you probably a bit more of like Dunkirk in its like the grit, like the dirtiness of war, and like the what do you want to call it? What would you call it? You're submerged into this film, so you are submerged into war. It's nothing pretty about it. It's nothing fun. It's no soldiers laughing and going ha 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 and just shooting guns. It's like, this is horrible.
It's more the emotion of the war rather than it's not like a direct story of like
you are living it with these characters, and also it's the side of it coming from the German side.
Yeah.
And like those end days of World War One, when it's all going a bit.
Well, I'm going to go to bat for the original because I've seen the original and I haven't seen the remake. The original was fucking incredible. I said that's a 9 out of 10 film for me. It's exactly the same. It's from the point of view of a young German.
I think it's exactly the same film. And I can imagine the ending being the same.
But think about this, right? I'm assuming this is the case in this one. It's all about war is ridiculous. It's pointless. It is not how it's portrayed to you by politicians, and how people feel at home is not what it's like.
Not glamorized.
No, to release a film saying that in 1930 is incredible. Before the Second World War, that's incredible. To be a dissident voice back then took guts. Serious guts and serious bravery, and to put out an emotional storytelling that back then, that's why I'm sure this remake is very good. I'm sure it is very good, but it will never be coming out at a ballsy time. I think this one, what they've done is probably over the first one is kind of heightened. Like they've used obviously like modern stuff to like heighten war and like the feeling of war around on the screen. Again, like if you're hearing shots, like you're feeling it, like surround sound. It's like, hey, it's a foreign film to add to the watch list, although it's already on the watch list.
There you go.
Very good. So,
top two.
At
number 2, I definitely brought this one up on an end of month roundup. It is In the Loop.
Yes.
Again,
Gandolfini,
yep. Peter Capaldi, all them lot. It's such a good film. I very much enjoyed it. I found it very funny. It was very well done. And I need to go on and watch the rest of all the stuff that they do.
Have you watched The Thick of It?
No, I keep meaning to get round to watching it.
It's very good.
I just loved this so much. I thought it was so funny.
Is it set in the same world? Like, is it like the same
characters and stuff? Yeah, but they've just made a film of it, so they brought some Americans over to make it like more. I think you might enjoy it, Paul, because it's kind of got like a burn after reading feel about it.
That's what I always feel like it's going to be like. Yeah,
it's like I think the poster looks quite similar style, but like
the poster does look very similar.
But like even it's just like the stupidity of people who. That's what makes it funny in a world where everything should be perfect. It's
interesting.
You've seen W18?
Yeah.
So same creators, I believe.
Yeah.
So if you like that, you definitely like In the Loop.
I keep meaning. I just don't know why I haven't really got onto it. To be honest,
The Thick of It is great because so much of it correlates to actual the politics that we see in this country day on day.
Yes.
Like, they remade it. Basically, in America, it's Veep. And everyone loves Veep out in America.
Yeah.
It wins all the awards and everything. But and Yanucci's involved in that as well.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to be as good as The
Interesting.
Thick of It.
No.
Yeah.
That's definitely on the watch list.
Number one.
Bye.
And number 1 is a podcast film.
This is a 9, is it?
This is 9 out of 10. And
Jesus, mate, you've had a bad year. Out of all your first-time watches, you've only got 1 9 and nothing higher.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It is Pride.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
boy.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Look at that. I need to watch it still.
Still need to watch it,
you didn't watch it, did you? Because we
I haven't watched it yet,
and
I haven't heard your episode yet either because I don't want it spoiled.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil it. We go into it deep.
If you want to hear about it, you can listen to me and Paul speak about it when Ben was away. Was it when Ben was away?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when Ben was away. Yeah.
Again, it's a great film. It's very, very well done.
Just so feel good.
Yeah. It's feel good, but it's also meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure.
With a lot of heart.
Yeah.
This story should be told.
I must check it out.
I look forward to what you think.
I must check it out.
But yes.
Beautiful.
That's my top 10 first time watches.
Lovely, Adam. Well done.
Excellent. All right. And you save the best to last.
Yes. But before we get on to you, Ben, should we see what For Your Reference have to say for their best first time watch this year?
Let's hear it.
Hey friends and filmbuster lovers, it's your girl Katie
And OT.
from the For Your Reference podcast, and we want to start off by saying love and splooshes to the filmbuster boys for an epic 2023, and thank you for allowing us to join in on our favorite watches. Let's go back in time for your favorite watch that wasn't released in 2023.
Oh, I had a lot of thought about this, and I think the one that really stood out to me was Visitor Q.
Hey, shout outs to Ben.
It's sort of unique storytelling perspective that also layered in dark humor with social commentary. It's something that I've not seen before. The way it's done, it was sort of mouth wide open sort of level of feel when you're watching it. It not only pushed me to the edge of my seat, but also just I was agape most of the time. And wow,
You had a splooshy hero.
it was a sploosh experience.
I do have my own, but I will add on to that, you know, it's possible to have salacious themes woven into the story. Goodbye, Saltburn. We don't need you.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that we reference a lot now. It's become a mainstay in the household.
Absolutely. And I guess I will finish us off in the delicious peak Wesley Snipes of it all. New Jack City. It was the first time I've ever watched a people's joint, if that's how people are saying it. But it was so much fun, you know, being able to address themes and also make it just cool and smooth and a lot of fun. And it was a really great watch, and you know, just so much fun all around. And I think that's a very nice collection to encapture the For Your Reference household as well, right, OT?
Two, I'm all about those choices. Fantastic choices. They are two great films.
Two that have been on my watch list for so long, I still need to get to them.
New Jack, I said it on their end of year wrap up because I added my score for New Jack City, and I said I've been wanting for the longest time to suggest it for this podcast, but it's just never happened yet. I don't think the year has come up, but if it does, we got to do it. It's so good. But have you boys seen Visitor Q?
No,
haven't seen it either. It's been on my watch list ages.
Holy Christ, Takashi Miike at his most extreme. Most extreme.
What's it called?
Saltburn.
No, the other Takeshi Miike film.
Audition.
No, didn't he do one that we put needles in his ears?
Itchy the Killer.
Itchy the Killer.
I haven't seen Itchy. I suspect it is though, because Itchy found like quite a wide audience. When Visitor Q, the themes that are in that, they are not for the mainstream audiences. Check it out, Adam. You will hate it.
Okay.
Paul,
interesting.
Watch it.
I might hate it.
Yeah, you might hate it, or you might really dig it. Adam, you will not like it. Yeah. If Adam liked it, worlds would have ended. Good choices. Good choices from our friends there.
Lovely choices. Thank you.
Right.
Go on, Benjamin.
Let's bang this out then. Number 10 with an 8 is Scarecrow. We covered it very, very recently.
Yes.
Not too much more to say on it since we covered it so recently, but I'm glad that a last minute edition got in there. And I think stand out. And I'm glad that Gene Hackman has made his way onto my list and your list, Paul. So Gene Hackman's doing things right. This was a good year for Gene Hackman. I won't say too much.
Gene.
Well done, Gene. We respect you. Right, number 9 with an 8. I spoke about this at an end of month wrap up early in the year. It's called The Cremator. Not sure if you boys can remember it. It's basically a Czech film.
yes. Is this the one in the The abattoir and stuff, like.
It's no. That one. That was a different one. This one is like a black and white film from the 30s or the 40s, and it's set just before World War II, and it's about a guy who prepares bodies for death. Oh, sorry, 1969, and it's set before World War II. It's set before World War II, black and white. And it's about a guy who works in a sort of... he's an undertaker, cremates bodies and whatnot, but he is being groomed to join the Nazi party, even though he is a Czech Jew, and his family are as well. And the whole story is so eerie, the way it's told throughout. He narrates it, and he looks really peculiar. He looks like, if you've ever seen the protagonist of Human Centipede 2, he looks like that man. And he kind of, he narrates in these like really poetic words over the whole thing, and the score is so eerie, and every scene blends into another scene by an action. Like he'll be in a big party, and he'll be in the corner, and he'll turn and he'll scoop up some jelly from the table and put it into his bowl, and all of a sudden he's sat at his dinner table with his family and the jelly's in the bowl, and they have a conversation. Then a man comes in through the door, and it's a different place, and the whole thing is like this dream. It's very spooky, very eerie, and at the time it was very much about it was very, very unsettling, because it was clearly about the Holocaust. It was all about the Holocaust, but they never put the finger on it and say this is specifically what it's about. And the creator was a survivor from one of the concentration camps as well, so it added this extra gravitas to the whole film. Very, very creepy, very eerie. Strong recommend for it. And the power of foreign film as well. Really, very much enjoyed it.
I remember you mentioned it, and it's on the watch list already. So
yeah.
I need to get around to this. Definitely.
Get round. Give it a watch and see. My number 8, with another 8, talked about it before as well. It's The Taking of Pelham 123, the original.
Oh, yes.
Tony Scott's was very good, and I watched that one first, and I have got a soft spot for it, but this original was done so well. So Quint from Jaws is the hijacker, and Walter Matthau plays a Denzel Washington character, and it's very good because it's like a tight little thriller, but there's lots of humor all the way through it as well, and you're really engrossed in it. Very well executed. The whole thing is a train tube being held captive underground so they can get their ransom demands, and genuinely speaking, I think it has the best final shot of any movie I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like, wow. So good for the story, but also so funny as well. It was a high recommend. I don't think there is a better final shot in a movie than this, even though the film itself can never live up to that final shot. But it's very good, and I would recommend you both watch it.
Michael Douglas in Black Rain.
Oh, mate, now you've posed a dilemma. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. I think Michael Douglas in Black Rain probably does win that, actually. Okay, and they were all 8s. Now we're already up into the 9s, you know. We're already up into the 9s for me. You boys very harsh this year. Number 7, and Adam might have something to say about this, even though he hasn't seen the film. Number 7 for me, with a 9 out of 10, is Witness for the Prosecution.
Oh, shit. I do need to get this watch, man.
You just watched the play of this recently, Adam, I believe.
It was great, yeah. And I would love to know if the ending... I imagine the ending's the same ending.
I would imagine so. Check out the film. The reason I loved it so much was it felt like such a play. It felt like a stage play all throughout the film, and I love films that are like that. However, it's very, very cinematic as well, because flashbacks, I don't know how they do it in the play, but flashbacks are actually flashbacks in the film, obviously.
They just dim the lights or something, I think. I remember, like, they just changed the tone of it and went back. Yeah. Right.
But there's an actor called Charles Lawton who plays the solicitor at the heart of the thing, and he is so classic British, like Churchill. He's cantankerous, he's grumpy, he's very loud, very eloquent and whatnot. Great character. And the basic crime of the story is so, like, kind of insignificant in a way, is irrelevant to everything else that's going on in the story, and you keep thinking you understand what's going on, you've got the measure of everything, and then it twists and it turns again. And this is all Agatha Christie. This is Agatha Christie. So credit where it's due to one of the classics, and it's Billy Wilder who directed it. Billy Wilder, he did Sunset Boulevard and stuff like that.
Bangers.
Yeah. Very much enjoyed it, and I would watch that again happily anytime soon.
I would recommend going to see the play. I mean, it's great. It's set in an old council chambers, so it's like. But
that sounds amazing.
So I was sitting. So the seat next to me, it said like this seat's reserved, and one of the guys who was playing not the barrister, the solicitor of the prosecution was sitting in the chair next to me.
Oh wow!
And in the film, he's like writing notes down about everything, and then he's passing them to the barrister to say to the judge,
interesting,
and all of that. And he would like every time he came out to me, he's like morning, and then when it was the second bit, it was like afternoon.
Very immersive.
And they were turning around and they were talking to each other about stuff during the film, not film, but the play. And at one point, someone's phone went boom, 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 and the guy the barrister turned around to the guy and went, "Was that someone's mobile telephone?" But it's very good, and they got people there who sit on the jury, and they're actually like, so you can go and sit as a normal person who sit on the jury, and at the end of it, they're the most of the play, they're directing it at you, they're talking to you, and then at the end of it, they all stand up and they give their thing saying guilty or not guilty, whatever they think from the evidence that's happened.
I think I looked into it after you had gone, Adam, and I think you got to pay a little bit more extra to be.
I think you have
one
to be
of the
on the jury,
right?
But I would say it doesn't really matter. Like, I would go in the bottom seats. So there's like the gallery seats at the top. I would recommend going in the bottom, and I would go on either side, not at the back. But because most of the plays 360, they're all getting up, they're talking to each other, they're sitting down on that one. Someone gets up and walks. Even like to the point where on the doors of the thing, they come in and out of entrances to doors different ways. And they've got policemen on the doors, and so someone went up to go to the toilet, and like the policeman opens the door and lets them out. And if you were like in a normal courtroom,
that's so cool.
Interesting.
It's set up like that. It's very cool. The best thing about it, though, there was one guy on the jury, and he was sitting there, and every time like the judge enters the room, everyone's got to stand up. You don't have to stand up if you're in the normal seats, but everyone in the jury stands up.
Right.
And every time he stood up, one time he stood there and he had a pint of ale in his hand. And then at one point he was setting up and they were standing like saying, "Are you going to give you a thing?" And everyone says it, and he's got a fucking tub of popcorn.
Oh dear.
And I nudged Chelsea and I was like, "Look at this guy over there." And we were both like, it's the thing, it's so serious, and we're just both trying to hold our laughter. He's standing there with a fucking tub of popcorn in his hand, like eating bits of it.
That's cool, man. We need more of that sort of thing, more immersive theatre like that.
Definitely.
I think it's like what you
very
said
cool.
about Matilda. It's that I'd highly recommend anyone who's in London to go see it. I think you can pick up quite cheap tickets for it if you're at the top. I think you have to pay a little bit more if you're at the bottom. But I'd highly recommend it. And if you're feeling, Chelsea was like, "Oh, we should go see the Back to the Future," and I'm a bit like, I can imagine it's cool, but at the same time,
mate, it's like
I'd
your
rather-
favourite
very well
film.
done.
You should be
yeah,
there.
I know, but like
It's very
the
well
film.
done.
But I think like this, I just knew this was like this, and I thought like this is immersive. This is a bit more than just that. I thought like I'd like to go see something new and something.
Yeah, I'd definitely choose that over Back to the Future if I hadn't seen Back to the Future.
Yeah. Anyway, I recommend it.
Well, very good, amazing. Well, watch the film, Adam. If you like the play, you will very much like the film.
Lovely.
Paul, just watch it. Number 6, I literally spoke about it at the end of last month, so I'm not going to spend much time. It is, well, I spoke about it for our patrons anyway. It is Planet of the Apes. I finally watched it after all this time.
Yes.
Really, really good. I feel I've been speaking about it so much recently because I was on the Movie Jewel podcast yesterday, and I brought Planet of the Apes up as one of my picks as well.
Cool.
Just so good, and considering that Charlton Heston is in it, who is a repugnant human being, it's testament to the film that I can still give it a 9 out of 10 because of the film itself and the themes. They're all very, very good. I spoke about it recently. Religion, science, what man will do to itself, mankind, just absolutely brilliant. Even if you think you know how it ends, which you do, it doesn't matter because the journey there is so good. Brilliant.
I watched it again off the back of you watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Recently.
And what did you think?
I liked it a lot more than I remember. I gave it an 8.
Yeah,
It was great. It was a great watch.
very good for 1968. And all of the prosthetics as well. Like, even though slightly
solid.
goofy, they're just solid as hell for that time, for the 60s.
Yeah, so
It's like,
solid.
this is incredible.
Yeah.
So solid. 21 seconds to go. So that's Planet of the Apes. No American will get that reference. Number 5, it's appearing again today. And sorry you couldn't be higher, but this is a worthy position. Number 5, Deep Cover. 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Classic quality.
Popping up everywhere.
As far as I'm concerned, the best film probably that we covered on the podcast this year. It was immense, so good, so fun. I feel like I could watch that again and again and again. That's one of those films that I could easily throw on again and again and again. And I still think that the reason that the Prince Charles Cinema put it on is because our fucking podcast was released and people started talking about it a little bit. And then we didn't go.
Clearly.
And we
Must
didn't
have
go.
been.
We should have gone. We should have gone and seen it on the big screen. Although Paul wouldn't have cared for it.
I liked it. 7.
And Jenny came on and upgraded it in our rankings as well. So
she did.
It sits prettier than before. So yeah, Deep Cover. Nothing more to say about that. You just got to watch it if you haven't already. Number 4, 9 out of 10 also is, and Julio mentioned it there because I suggested that they do it. It is Paper Moon. This is a Peter Bogdanovich directed film, and it's basically a real life father and daughter who go on a road trip across America, pulling off scams and stuff. But within the confines of the film, you're not sure if this is a father and daughter dynamic. And it is funny. It is dramatic. The child actress, who is Tatum O'Neill, is so good, and she's so over the top and loud throughout it that she could be really fucking annoying, and she isn't. She's on the level with all the adult actors in it. It's so good, and her chemistry with her real life dad is obviously there for all to see, because it's clear, like, you can only get that comfortable with someone if you know them intimately, and the way they work on screen is great. There's lots of zingers. He's a little bit frustrated to be dragging her across country with him, but he uses her in some of their scams, and she suggests ideas in scams, and it's so entertaining. It's very heartfelt, very emotional, and it is kind of feel good in a way. And it reaches this point at the end of the film where a choice is made, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, that was the choice. That's the only way that this could end." It's very, very hard recommend from me. It didn't come out all that long ago. It feels like it's something from way back in the past, but it's 1973. But I feel like it's set way back. I think it was even set during the Depression. Strong recommend. Very strong recommend. Check it out.
On the list, mate.
Both of you. Very good. That was number 4. Number 3. Number 3, at the beginning of the year, I said that I would struggle to review it properly, and I still would. So I'm not going to get into the detail of it. I'm just simply not. It's After Sun. It's a beautiful film. It's very, very
absolutely
devastating as well.
I rewatched it this year, and it's even more painful knowing the film.
Yeah,
like, rewatching that film. Oh boy.
Yeah. That one is very, very special. Very, very special. I'm not going to.
6.
I ain't going to dilute it with my words. It was incredibly emotional. Number 2. Again, feel like I spoke about this very, very recently. In fact, I did. 9 out of 10. It is On Body and Soul. This is the film that you mentioned, Adam, the one set in the slaughterhouse.
Okay, yeah.
So for those who haven't heard me talk about this before, it's about a guy who does like HR at a slaughterhouse, and a woman who comes in to do quality control. They're both introverts in very different ways. And they're a little unsure of each other, but what they don't realise is that every night when they go to sleep, they both dream, and they dream that they are deers, and within their dreams they connect as deers, but they don't realise that it's each other who they're connecting with in the dream. It's very, very interesting. It's such a sweet film, and it's made all the more sweet because there's so many brutal, triggering things that constantly happen throughout the story. So you have this sweetest of stories with the sweetest of people at the heart of it, and all this terrible, harsh, cold stuff is happening throughout, which just further reinforces your kind of like, as an audience, your desire to want these two to be okay. And I think what it comes down to is just, even though things are harsh and the world is horrible, you want, where you can, you want to help, you want to protect things, you want things to be okay, and things that are fragile, whether they're animals or people or children or nature, whatever, you want to protect, you want to look after it. That's what I get from this film all the way through it. It won't be for everyone because it is surreal, it is brutal, but Jamie bought it very recently and watched it and loved it too. So give it a watch, and that's another recommendation for Mubi, because that is where it is.
You're trying to get sponsored at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, please.
That'd be nice.
Please. So that's on Body and Soul. And finally, I don't know what more could be said about this film than has already been said. My number one film of the year, Christopher Nolan. It's Dunkirk.
Wow.
And that, I mean, it's just a big boy, isn't it? What can I say? What can I add to the discourse?
Again, that is, yeah. Like we probably spoke about it with All Quiet on the Western Front. It is deep. It is. It hits every emotion, I think, that film.
Yeah, it truly does. It hits all the emotion, but also it's kind of, So I watched it at home, streaming with my headphones in, because I was watching it late at night, and it was a happy coincidence that I had my headphones in because the soundscape is so incredible in it.
Yeah.
And I just thought, this is amazing. As a sound accomplishment, it tells half the story through sound, which is incredible. You're immersed in it from that ticking clock on the soundtrack through to all the bombs going off. It's just, it really keeps you in there.
I don't know if there's a plot. There's not really a plot twist, but the clever use of time in it is just incredible. Like, it just adds another layer to it. It is, I think that is Nolan at his very best. Also, it's not like Interstellar, it's not like Inception where it's big and sprawling. It's like, this is just this. It is something so again, it's just a day almost, and this is everything that's happening with it.
He's the boss. Why can't he keep doing things like that?
You were
Oppenheimer. Have you seen Oppenheimer? You guys haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, haven't seen Oppenheimer. So if it gets brought up, it's going to be brought up by you.
Could be number one next year.
Yeah.
I think, it's just a feat. And if you haven't seen it, just watch it. And it's probably one of the few films that I've seen after a cinema release that makes me think, fuck, I wish I'd seen that in the IMAX, because that would have been a hell of a watch.
That's where I saw it first. It's just, it's insane. And I think Nolan did the crossing in those little boats before doing the film.
Is that so?
Across the channel in the boat.
Oh yeah,
something like that.
I think you told me that. Yeah,
get into like the feel of like
the mindset
of everyone in it. Like, fuck me, man.
Yeah.
Did you shed a tear at the end, Ben?
I did not. There was no tears. I felt a swell of something. I felt something within me, but it wasn't an emotional thing. Not like the manipulation of Saving Private Ryan, where I do blub.
It's that boat. It's that moment when you see all the little boats coming, and you see them being so happy that they're being saved, and like,
I know.
You just imagine being there and just being like, "Fuck."
Yeah. So much beauty in all of that. It is incredible. Yeah, it is incredible.
Absolutely.
So there we are.
Look at that. Wonderful stuff. Nice list there.
Nice list.
We got a final first time watch from Jamie Russell. Do you want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Jamie's actually ill, so he sent us a written version of his first time watch. So he said, "The best first time watch. I have a sneaking suspicion that Ben will go for On Body and Soul." I did not, Jamie. So I'll go with the only other first watch that I gave 5 stars, for which is Harold and Maude, a delightfully quirky cult classic from 1971. I had to watch it for a Movie Duel episode, and I loved it. Looking forward to rewatching it soon. I've seen it. It's very quirky. It's a very lovely little film. I gave it an 8.
So what was the name of the film again?
Harold and Maude.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, that's on my watch list because of recent discussions that have been had, and particularly what Jamie has said. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very quirky one. It's very funny. This young guy constantly throughout the film pretending that he's committed suicide to his mum, but she just doesn't really pay attention to what he's doing. It's just funny. It's just like a little quirky little idea. It's good.
Is British quirk, is it?
Yes, very British quirk.
Okay. Well, I am going to watch it. It's been on the watch list for a long, long time. Good call, Jamie. You should have put On Body and Soul at top. You should have put it up there, mate. So we could have had further reinforcement of how good it is.
Hey, film busting boys, it's Sean Panda Nixon here. I hope you have a wonderful 2024, or is it 2024? I think you say 2024. But yeah, best first time watch has to be 2022's Ennis Main, Mark Jenkins' haunting puzzle box. I love it. That's my kind of thing. You should really watch Ennis Main anyway. It's pretty awesome.
Wonderful stuff. Well, that's our first time watch of 2023. So that leads us on nicely now to talk about our honourable mentions of 2023. So these are the films that are actually released in 2023, and it's basically the 11 to 20 if we had a top 20. And we're not going to go into depth. We're only going to give a sentence for each film before we move on to next episode, speaking about our top 10 of 2023. So yes, here's my honourable mentions. So starting with 20, my number 20 on the list, it's Merry Little Batman, a Christmas Batman film which was released, and it's about Batman's son, and it's nice, it's very childish, it's very light-hearted, but it's enjoyable enough. It's a 7 out of 10. I've got at number 19, I've got the Super Mario Bros. Movie for exactly the same reason. It's a little bit better than Merry Little Batman, but it's just a kids film, and it's a solid kids film, but it doesn't go any further than that. 7 out of 10. Then at number 18, I've got Pearl, the sequel to X. It's better than the predecessor, the one that came before it, but it's still like, I don't really understand why they're doing this, but it was enjoyable enough. At number 17 is The Whale. It was it's still a 7 out of 10. It was a decent enough film. I hated everyone in it, and that's probably what stopped it from going any higher. At number 16, it's another 7 out of 10. It's Evil Dead Rise. It's a very solid little horror film. It's all set in one location, which I like, but it's not great. It still has some good ideas. It just doesn't go further than I would have liked it to. Number 15, it's Nimona, the animated film. To be honest, I can't remember much about it.
Haven't heard of that one. What is it? Nimona.
Nimona.
What's that about?
I think it's Chloe Grace Moretz. She plays the lead in it, and it's basically like a world where it's all like kind of like knights. It's like set in like a realm, but like a future realm, and basically I think someone gets assassinated, and it's all about discovering who it was. And it's got it's very progressive. It's a nice little progressive little animated film, and it was enjoyable. It was fun. It's 8 out of 10. The first 8 out of 10 on the list.
Haven't even heard of that one.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, so if you want to check it out. Have I got anything else to say about that? I don't think so. It's just it's a pretty super sweet animated film.
Okay.
That's all I've got to say. At number 14, it's my first DC animated film on the list. It's Justice League Warworld.
I thought you had Batman in 20.
Oh yes, it's my second. You're correct.
I just assumed that one was an animated. That's why.
Yeah, it was. They're both animated.
A live action
it's weird, but
Christmas Batman
it's not really
film.
the kind of one you'd imagine, because it's more like a comedy. It feels like a Cartoon Network one, the Merry Little Batman one. But this is a down the line DC, what you'd imagine story about Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, and they're trapped in like parallel universes almost playing out like a noir detective story, like a western, and for some reason they're trapped in these worlds, they don't understand why, and then you kind of reveal what happens. It's fun. It's a fun little story. Number 13, it's Luthor, the Fallen Sun. I'm really enjoy the Luthor series, so hence why this sung to me a little bit.
Is this another Luthor film, or is this?
No,
are we
still that
still in the
same
same year that when you first spoke about it?
Yeah, still the same.
God,
year.
that feels like
Still the same
ages
year.
ago.
Yeah,
That must have been a
it's
January
a dark little
watch.
story. It feels as dark as you'd imagine one of the Luthors. If you ever watched the Luthor TV series, it's as dark as those, and it gets to points where like, oh shit, they're going this, and they it's unexpected, and it has an ending that I think trying to suggest that Luthor is going to be the next 007, and I kind of like the tongue-in-cheek
Yeah,
way
it was
they
very
did
much setting up for, or it was at least almost his audition to be.
Yeah,
be
it's
that.
always like that. It was quite nice just for that. And number 12, Adam's going to love it, it's Cocaine Bear. I had a fucking lovely time watching this film. 8 out of 10. It's solid, gross, loads of gore, very funny, and also very scary in places. I had a whale of a time, or a bear of a time, maybe.
Remind me, Adam, you didn't like it.
No, I just thought it's Hollywood trying to do their version of a shit B movie, but without any of the authenticity, and what makes it great being the B movie with the heart of it being shit, which makes it fun.
I disagree entirely, but we had that discussion. At number 11, it is very unexpected. Creed 3.
I've heard
one of the
decent
first
things about
films-
this.
Yeah, it's one of the first films I watched in 2023. I think when did I watch it? In Feb, 28th of Feb. Me and Scott went to the preview screen and didn't think I was gonna love it that much. I give most boxing films a 7, but it done it in a way because what's his name? Michael B. Jordan directed it, and he has a love of anime. There's this like tinge of anime fighting in it, and the way that he shoots some of the scenes, and it makes it very enjoyable. And I had a lovely time watching it, and that is my 20 to 11 list.
Wow.
There you go.
Starring cancelled Jonathan Majors in it.
It does, yeah, cancelled. He's so cancelled.
He is very cancelled now, isn't he?
He is very
I
cancelled
thought for
now,
one
yeah.
moment he was going to get away with it, wasn't he? There was like evidence for him and against him, and it's just. But oh well, we're not getting into that
fucked
because
it,
that's
Not
a
getting
whole.
into that. Do you know what? There isn't a single crossover on that list with either my honourable mentions or my top
Well, that's good.
10. Bizarre that
I've
is,
got
isn't
one
it?
crossover
Yeah.
with you so far.
Well, let's hear them, Adam.
At number 20, we have Equalizer 3.
Oh shit.
Very much enjoyed this instalment. These are the 7s until I say that they go up to an 8. Very much enjoyed it. It's lovely seeing Denzel Washington just hanging around in Italy, part of the charm to it all. Again, I think maybe like comparing it to like John Wick action films, I think John Wick has just tarnished everything when it comes to action films because nothing is ever going to live up to what they're like. But again, very enjoyable little entrance into this series, which I've enjoyed. At number 19 is Air, the Ben Affleck film about Michael Jordan's shoes. Again, it was very good. It's a nice little interesting story about it all. Nothing amazing, but it's just a nice little film. And number 18 is the crossover with Paul. It is Super Mario Bros.
There we go.
An enjoyable film. Could have been a lot better. I think it needed a little bit more of an adult knock to it, and it could have been really good. It is very much for kids, but it is still enjoyable.
What are you rating these films, Adam?
7.
Okay.
And number 17 is Ballerina. It's I want to say it's Korean, this film. Yeah, from South Korea. Came out on Netflix. It's about a girl who is revenging her best friend's death, and her last wish was her to carry out sweet revenge, I think is what they say.
Sweet Revenge.
Yes.
Sweet revenge.
At number 16, it is Dungeons and Dragons. Again, a nice, just silly, big film. Very enjoyable. Enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. At number 15 is a recommendation of Ben. Again, similar vein to Dungeons and Dragons. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Again, decent, enjoyable. Just what you kind of want a film to be. And number 14 is a very late edition. The last film I watched in the cinema is Wonka.
Wonka.
Yes.
I think you're the only one who's seen it. tell us a little about Wonka.
So it's by the same people who did Paddington, the same director who did Paddington Ben.
Get rid of it.
It has a similar feel in some ways, but it's obviously not. It's not set in London. I don't know where it's meant to be set, but there's like some of the signs are in German, some of them in French, some of them are in English. It's very much a European city.
Right.
I enjoyed it. Timothée Chalamet is very good in it. He's very likable. I do think it maybe could have been a little bit better. It could have been a bit funnier in places and a little bit more kind of you're waiting. It's like the early Wonka days, so he's not in the factory. It's him starting off in life. And I think the weird thing is like in the Johnny Depp films, I didn't really like Willy Wonka. I thought he was a bit of a knob. I thought he was meant to be like the evil chocolate conglomerate. It was a bit weird and a bit wacky. Whereas
it's an unusual choice to portray him that way.
In this, he's likable, and I was like, that's what I really got on board with, and it's enjoyable. I didn't realise it was a musical, however, but it doesn't really.
Otherwise, you would have stayed away.
Well, I'm kind of not a massive fan of it, but it was fine. It's very
You're
a
not
lot of
a fan
British.
of
There's a lot of
musicals,
good
Adam.
British actors in there as well. It's like really weird.
If it's Paddington, I imagine.
But like Tom Davies is like one of the guys in it, like one of the main characters in it, the comedian, the really tall guy.
Yeah, who was also in Paddington too, and really unfunny.
Was he in Paddington too? I didn't remember.
Yeah, he's in the prison serving up
he was,
sandwiches with Brendan Gleeson.
He was. Anyway, moving on. Number 13. I really want to rewatch this film. It's the last of my sevens, and I think it might go up. It is The Killer. I will get around to rewatching
Oh,
that
yes,
at some
yes.
point. Anyway, and number 12, it's Sharksploitation. Again,
Very good.
Recommendation from Ben. That's the first 8 of my series. Here.
Excellent.
And then at number 11, to round it all off, is Barbie.
Oh, she finally made it to a list.
She made it to the list.
Now, I don't know, did it just not make Paul's top 20 at all, or is it in his top 10?
It did not make it.
Okay.
Didn't make it because it's. I got to an 8 and it's a 7.
Wow.
Anyway.
Nice. Bit of crossover there, Adam. I do have some crossover there.
Let's hear it.
So let's begin. So my number 20, Ken Loach film, 7 out of 10, The Old Oak. About a guy in middle England, owns a village pub, and all of these Syrian refugees move into the village. And it's about how the locals respond to that. What you would expect from a Ken Loach film, social realism, but not his best. Number 19, 7 out of 10 also, is still a Michael J. Fox movie, which is basically a documentary about Michael J. Fox and his life as up-and-coming actor through to his Parkinson's diagnosis and how he lives with it. It's a good documentary, but what is very good is he's telling his real-life story, because he's narrating it, they keep splicing it with footage from his films to make it look like the stuff that's happening in the films is like past footage of him going through stuff. It's very, very well done. Number 18 is a film called EO, which is all about a documentary. Is all about a donkey that is sort of rescued from a circus and then passes through 3 or 4 different owners. But the film follows this donkey all the way through, and it's very sweet and very beautiful, kind of like On Body and Soul, in that it's about a very sensitive, vulnerable thing, and all these terrible things are going on around it. And my anxiety levels were through the roof throughout.
Oh, shit.
Yes. Foreign film, but I can't remember exactly where.
Maybe.
Possibly. Number 17, 7 out of 10 again. All of these are 7 out of 10s, by the way, all my honourable mentions. This was one of my first watches of 2023. It's The Pale Blue Eye, Christian Bale film on Netflix.
Yeah. That was very,
It was okay. It's okay. Basically, a bit of a murder mystery. Edgar Allan Poe is involved.
I couldn't remember the name of the person in it, but that was
it. It's kind of like an Edgar Allan Poe story, but Edgar Allan Poe stars in it, and Christian Bale is investigating these murders. It was a good watch early in the year, and it's done well to make it to my honourable mentions. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't fantastic. Number 16, crossover with Adam, Air. Very solid entry. Never will watch it again, but I was happy to watch it once. Solid fare. Good film. Number 15, a film that Adam and I spoke about because we saw it together and neither of us were massively impressed, but it's okay, is Infinity Pool, if you want to hear us talk about that.
I was very close to putting that in at the bottom.
Yeah, it didn't even make it, no? Didn't even make top 20 for you?
Yeah, it was number 7.
I mean, it had things going for it. It's just it's
It
not.
could have been a lot better. Like, it had the potential to be pretty good.
It's Mia Goth. I just can't get on board with her. She hurts it. Number 14 is Barbie. So that's the last time you're going to hear about Barbie today. It was a good film. I enjoyed it. There's lots of problems with it. It thinks it's cleverer and sweeter and more progressive than it is, but I'm largely satisfied with it, particularly the inversion of Barbie Land in the real world, where it's all the men are in charge, and all that stuff was handled well, and Gosling was great. Number 13, I'll be interested to see if this appears in the top 10 for you boys, was Scream 6. We did an episode on it, of course. We'll find out if it features later, but you could tell it's been a bad year when Scream 6 has made it to 13th best film of the year. This one may be controversial. It was my last watch of the year. Number 12, 7 out of 10, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I squeezed in just for you, Paul. And, I mean, let's talk about it later because I know it's going to feature higher up on your list. And finally, my number 11, which was good. It's done well. It almost was in the top 10. But again, even when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this ain't a great film. So it shows how bad a year it's been that this was the 11th best film. It's Talk to Me. The horror film about the hand where people grab onto the hand and have hallucinatory experiences, or maybe not, where ghosts enter their body, and it's it's a whole analogy for drug culture and peer pressure when kids all get together and filming it and whatnot. I thought it was very well done. Didn't quite stick the landing for me, but good enough. So there you go.
Lovely. That's some good shouts there. A little bit of crossover, but not much.
But everyone really came for the top 10 of 2023, which we're going to leave them on a cliffhanger for to go and listen to.
Exactly. You're not going to hear it here, guys, because we're going to release that next week. Yes. So it's all very exciting. We're going to talk about that. We're actually going to talk about it now. So,
we're not waiting a week.
Shame on you.
I know.
We hope you enjoyed that episode, though. And I guess we'll just see you next week for our top 10 of 2023.
Busters.